Hi, Gardener Ben here, and welcome along to the potting shed here at the North Lodge Cottage Garden. Thank you to absolutely everybody that joined me for my very brief live earlier on, checking in on the progress of the sweet peas. If you're growing along with the sweet pea grow along at home, the third instalment of that is now available for you to watch at any point. So whether you're following along in real time or you're slightly behind on your stages, just make sure you save that video for another time. And as I mentioned in that live, now all of the sweet peas are off the heat mat. It's time to crack on and get sowing some other bits and pieces. And first up for me is some aubergines. These have been gifted to me by Fro Seeds to celebrate the collaboration between myself and Fro Seeds over the whole year. Actually, you can use code BEN10 to get yourself 10% off of any UK order at Fro Seeds over the rest of the year, all the way through to the end of 2023. So things like aubergines, tomatoes are going to be the first things now going onto the heat mat into the greenhouse. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with a cellular tray. I reuse these are from bedding plants that I use from my customers. I don't understand why an awful lot of you seem to really like to make your lives very difficult, and so everything into a pot or a tiny little tray and then attempt to prick them out. Things like aubergines and tomatoes, the seeds should be more than enough easily handleable for you to actually direct sow them 1 or 2 per module. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sow 6. I'm going to put 2 in each model, 1 in the middle and 1 well off to the side. And that means if I'm lucky enough to get both of those germinate, all I then need to do is actually remove and discard the weaker one. And I do that exactly the same with my tomatoes as well. It just makes life so much easier. A little, I suppose you call it a gardening hack, but if you can just control your sowing so you don't have to prick them out and that danger stage of actually damaging them. So we're going to start with a really good 100% organic compost, which I've opened up with just a little bit of horticultural grit. So just filling up my modular trays then as well. The other thing I'd like to talk to you about is watering. So many people watering their seedlings with spray bottles and things. Well, if that works for you, it's absolutely fine. I do very much prefer to water from below at all points, and this will get a little bit untidy in this video, but what I will attempt to do in just a moment is show you how I do that. And all I do is have a potting bench tidy like I've got that you can't see just off to my left. That contains compost. I've got 2 of those, and it's about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches deep. I fill that up with water and simply float the trays in there for around 20 minutes to 30 minutes and let the water come up through the sides, and then just make sure that seed is very much bedded into there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and adjust the camera so you can see me sowing these. There we go, you can see the seed tray just there. This is my lovely packet of organic, sustainably sourced, eco packaged aubergines. Let's open these up. It has been an absolutely glorious day here on the south coast of England. We've had some beautiful weather. Right, so here is my little packet of aubergine seeds. You can see I've got more than enough here, more than I could actually need. I say I want around 6 plants, so let's just open up this little packet. Fiddly, there we go. Right, and these I'm then going to knock out and pop into the palm of my hand. Now I say these should be more than handleable. Actually, it's probably just best to do it straight from the packet. So I just want 1 in the middle of each seed module. I'm going to put them in my hand. The bag's a bit slippery. Right, so just knock those out into the palm of your hand. Now I'm not entirely sure what this line is called, but if you bring your hand together, you've then got a nice deep furrow in the center of your hand, and all you need to do is just literally tap your hands together. Let's move that so you can actually see that. There we go. Right, just tap your hand very lightly. You'll see the seeds. Same with chillies. You see one drop down into the center of the module there. Just going to tap another one out. So again, straight into the top of the module. You can easily poke it about if it goes into the wrong place. A second one just going in there, and a third just needs to be picked up. A slight tap just brings that seed down the furrow of your hand. Move over, so I've got 1 near the center of the module and 1 off to the side. I'm hoping the one in the middle of the module is going to be the one that actually germinates. This is not easy to do watching the camera and my hand at the same time, so I hope you're getting this. So just a little tap of my finger there, you see that the seeds just working their way down the fold of my hand. There's one coming there. going to be 2 of them. There we go. We're going to have to just pick one of those up. But you can see that there's absolutely no need to throw loads and loads of these seeds into a seed tray and then have to be pricking them out. What I want to do is I want to try and limit the amount of work I have to do. So there we go, 2 seeds into each module there. Absolutely fine with those. The balance of those are going to go back into the packet. So much more than I actually need. You can just hold the packet nice and steady and then just drop those down the furrow of your hand. A little bit of wiggle of your digits normally works quite nicely. This is exactly the same for tomatoes, exactly the same for sowing chilies. So those are all now into their modules, and what I now need to do is just taking a light little bit of soil, just going to very lightly cover these with a tiny dash of compost, just so they are hidden. And this is the problem with fully organic compost, is you get a lot of lumps in it, but that's what we have to do. Right, so they are literally very lightly covered, a little tamp down just with your hands, and then this tray is going to be actually suspended in water. Bring the camera up so you can see me and just you're not just looking at my great big belly for a second. So these are now going to go into the watering tray outside, floated into about 2.5 or 2 inches of water, and I'm just going to let that come up, and you'll see very clearly after about 20 minutes, half an hour, the very tops of these will start to go dark as that water's come all the way up through the module. Just give them a light tamp down with your hands again to make sure those seeds are in really good contact with the soil, and then these are going into the greenhouse on that heat mat, nice cloche over the top, because these are going to need a little bit of heat to force them through. Germination on your aubergines is going to take around 14 to 21 days, a nice constant steady temperature. And the reason why I'm doing that in week 3 of February is now the nighttime temperatures coming up a little bit, the greenhouse heat is not having to work quite so hard, so we should be achieving temperatures underneath the cloche with the greenhouse and the heater, and then the cloche on top with the heat mat underneath, of around 21-22 degrees continuously. And that's what we need for things like tomatoes and aubergines, chilies and peppers, all of those kind of things, which are all going to be sown this week. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful week and you've enjoyed these little hints and tips. Don't forget that code BEN10 gets you 10% off at Fro Seeds, all UK orders from now until the very end of the year. So if you want to bag to yourself some nice aubergines, a lovely packet of seeds there, more than I can really sow here in the North Lodge Cottage Garden. So there's only 2 of us in this household, and these 6 plants that I've sown should produce more than enough fruit that I have space for as well. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Don't forget that online discount code at Fro Seeds, and I will see you all here back in the potting shed again next week. We're going to be moving on to sowing some other things like some cabbage and some Brussels sprouts. Anyway, I'll see you all again soon. I'll take care now. Bye bye.